Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim and this is a review of Butcher and Blackbird. Hey guys, so it is hot this week, hot. The Canadian prairies are in the middle of a big heat wave. We've got temperatures of over 30 degrees all last week and forecasted for the coming week. So it's hot and it's humid and it's a Canadian summer and I love the heat, but it's hot. And it's not so nice for my poor bunnies. We have tricks for my bunnies to keep them cool, such as like a giant fan system to pull all the cool air to their spaces. We also freeze big 2-liter jugs of water and like lay them on the floor so the bunnies have something nice to lay against. And then there's me, who just is fine with the heat as long as I can retreat to a cool place for a little while when I need to, or drink a cold iced drink like my matcha. But speaking of heat, I thought I'd review this spicy book. If you're not familiar with Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver, let me enlighten you. This book was recommended to me by my buddy Diamond over at A Little Geek, A Little Chic. She started reading it and immediately, within like the first few chapters, was like, Kim, you have to read this. You have to read this. So it jumped my TBR. It actually even went ahead of a couple library books, which is like breaking a cardinal rule for me. But it was so worth it. Such a good book. The basic premise of Butcher and Blackbird is we have a pair of serial killers. Blackbird, she is a killer, and so is Butcher. He is a killer. But they're like the Dexter, if you're familiar with the show Dexter, of serial killers, in that they target other serial killers. They're like serial killer social justice warriors. It's a really good premise. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this book. Trigger and content warnings. Fun. But it's worth it. And they're honestly not that bad. You read them and you're like, oh no, it's going to be so brutal. But of course, maybe I'm just desensitized. It didn't seem that brutal. It was brutal, but it wasn't like I'm traumatized for life brutal. Anyway, so the premise is these two killers, Butcher and Blackbird, they meet and they are immediately aware of each other's reputations and they know each other's true nature, and they begin to play an annual game. The annual game is Butcher's brother, who is apparently some kind of contract killer, so he's got like a family of killers, I guess. He will select a target that's a secret and send these two to the correct location wherein they may hunt, identify, and kill said target. And it's a competition. So Butcher or Blackbird, whoever gets there first wins. Whoever kills the target first wins. But it is a romance, and so shenanigans ensue. It's very spicy. It's very bloody. There are serial killers. It's pretty brutal. I particularly enjoyed Blackbird's MO. She plucks the eyes from her victims. That's like her thing. So good. Highly recommend. I flew through this book. It was really hard to put down, and nothing about it was bad. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 only because in certain spots the pacing was a little off. I felt like it should have been more faster paced than it was, but all in all it was a great book and I really don't have a lot of complaints. Highly recommend you check it out. It's a nice spicy book for summer. All right, book nerds, that's it for me. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Has anyone else read Butcher and Blackbird? What were your thoughts? Also, how do you cool off in a giant heat wave? Okay, that's all I got for you. As always, happy reading.